fog hangs low as I slip out the door and onto Arlington Avenue. It could be any season or year. In the Berkeley Hills, there is no winter or summer, spring or fall. Plants bloom in January, and micro-down jackets guard against the chill that descends with the creeping mist. Like a California reincarnation of the Magic Mountain, Berkeley's hills seem to stand outside time. Thomas Mann's hero, Hans Castorp, arrives at a Swiss sanatorium for a brief visit, but invents a fever that allows him to stay for 7 years. He discusses love and death at deliriously high altitudes, far from the war that will soon break out below. After working as a journalist in Russia, I came here to study Europe's past. When my plane from Moscow landed in San Francisco, I stepped out into balmy temperatures. Across the bay in Berkeley, I smoked weed and smelled angel's trumpet flowers, their orange blossoms bursting with nocturnal perfume. I never wanted to leave. While sitting in seminars, I sometimes stared at the redwood trees outside the window and wondered at my good fortune. Theory is gray, Goethe's Mephistopheles tells a student in Faust, but the tree of life is green. Silver fog and emerald branches, Berkeley had it all. Time, however, can only be suspended for so long. At the end of the novel, Castorp comes down from the mountain and into the trenches. It could be any season or year, but it is fall 2016, and I'm walking home from the Halloween party I attended last night as Hamlet. I have a black coat over my shoulders and a plastic skull in my hands, decapitated from a skeleton I bought at the CVS on Telegraph. Peter, the philosophy grad student I'm dating, whose house hosted the party, dressed up as Donald Trump, a red baseball cap shoved over his straw blonde hair. With barely a week left until the election, President Trump still sounds like a novelty costume for polite men, hoping to get in a few off-color remarks before political correctness is restored. At the party, Tame Impala had thumped from the speakers as Peter bobbed his head to the bass in Brand New Person, Same Old Mistakes. I half-assed my line about poor Yorick and danced. Beyond a cluster of smokers on the house's front step lay the onyx eternity of the bay at night. Academia isn't a job, it's a vocation, one of them was saying as he took a drag on his hand-rolled cigarette. Like the priesthood. A woman with the round, blank eyes of a doll nodded back at him. I didn't know anyone there and started drinking. First a little, then a lot. After my prolonged absence, Peter came to find me in the bathroom, asked if I was okay, and left to rejoin the party. Later, I was lying on his bed, traces of vomit encrusted on my clothes, when he reappeared and began touching me. I want you so badly, he said. I was impressed by the unfailing precision of his grammar. Even while pawing for a drunken fuck, he managed to use an adverb. The next morning, my head feels as blurry as the house is in the mist. I'm moving slowly on my high-heeled boots as I walk by front yards brimming with rose bushes and lemon trees. Now it is mostly senior faculty who can afford to live in the hills. A professor who's been teaching at Berkeley since the 70s once had our seminar over for dinner and martinis at his hillside mansion, while his younger colleague warned us that he had a place in the lower-rent suburb of El Cerrito, and no invitations would be forthcoming. Peter is lucky. The father of one of his philosopher friends taught at Berkeley years ago and bought this house. The professor left his old copies of Kierkegaard in the living room. I feel my phone buzz in my pocket. It's Daniel, my fellow PhD student and closest friend. I got so drunk I don't remember how I got home, the message reads. Never drinking bourbon again, I reply. I'm never drinking, period. I walk under live oak trees past Indian Rock Park, the boulders where my friends and I sometimes watch the sun go down over the bay with a pizza from Cheeseboard. Daniel attended another party, held by historians in our program, and is reporting on who threw up where. He tells me that the best costume was worn by a grad student who came as the French philosopher Michel Foucault. I tell him about a drunken speech I made to Peter, in which I declared that if you don't care about other people's feelings, there's no point in living. Well, there is truth to that, Daniel writes. I ask if he's in the department. He is, and I agree to stop by.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.